Hi class, and welcome to EDUC 506 Educational Assessment. I'm Dr. Nancy Heilbrenner, and I'll be your instructor for the course. And this lecture is designed to help you understand course requirements and policies, as well as major assignments. Everything that you see here is taken right out of the syllabus, and so if you have any questions about it, you can always go back to the course Blackboard course shell and download and look at the syllabus. So as you can see through the course description, we'll be learning about how to fairly assess students in your class. And this assessment is something a teacher needs to do no matter if the students are in pre-kindergarten or college students. Assessment is about more than giving quizzes or tests, and a lot of times it's not even about giving quizzes or tests. It's basically understanding what your students know. And we even have to do this with 3- and 4-year-olds if we're teaching them. This is a totally online class, and so everything is going to be online, mostly through the course shell, although there will be some things sent through email. I like to communicate through email with my students. If you experience any technical difficulties, the first person to come to is not me. The first person is, if you're experiencing with Blackboard, email Mercy online at mercy.edu. If you're having browser-related or login trouble, you can call the phone number on the screen or email the help desk. And there's a whole page about what to do in these cases. Sometimes students email me at 11 o'clock at night on the night of an assignment's due. I'm probably in bed asleep at that time, so I have 2 words of advice for you. Do your assignments earlier, and if you do experience a technical difficulty, use one of these avenues. They're pretty good about supporting students. Let's talk about class policies for a while. First of all, I have a rather unusual policy in that I think everybody needs a break now and again. So I do allow you to submit assignments up to 1 week late after the due date. I will charge a 10% point penalty on that. There are 2 assignments that may not be submitted late, and that's the Fieldwork and the Extra Credit Vocabulary Project, which we'll talk about in a bit. No assignments will be accepted after December 22nd, and no discussion posts may be submitted late as well. When you do submit assignments, they should be submitted in Microsoft Word, double-spaced, and utilizing APA documentation. If you do send me a format other than Word, for example, PDF or RTF files, I'll send them back to you and ask that you resubmit in Word. And the reason for this is I like to edit. I give you a lot of feedback, and that's easier for me to do and you to see in Word. You can't email me papers. I'll send it back and say, please submit it to Blackboard. And the reason for this is Blackboard is very good at taking papers, documenting when they came in. We both have a record of when they came in and that they're there. If I accept papers from many other sources, I'll be losing them and I'll feel badly and then you'll feel badly. As I said, all assignments must follow APA format, and I've put a folder on the course site with some helpful resources so that you'll understand APA format. One of them is the Purdue University OWL site. Here's the link, but it's also, like I said, on the course site. I've also put up a sample APA paper so you'll understand what headings are supposed to look like. Before you submit your first paper, it might be wise to look that over. I've also posted something called 12 Little Rules of Writing in APA that'll help you understand how to do APA formatting. A rather unusual policy that I have is that you may revise most assignments in the class and resubmit them for up to a week after they are graded. Now, there are a couple of assignments this does not apply to. This is Fieldwork and Extra Credit, but every other assignment may be revised and resubmitted because I believe in if I can encourage you to look at my feedback and revise, you'll learn more. There is a specific way that you have to do this. To revise an assignment, you're going to take my paper that I gave back to you with its comments. So you'll do a paper, submit it to me. I'll make comments using the Microsoft Word comments section. And you'll see them appear on the right border, the right margin of your paper. Open the comments, read what I have to say, make changes to your paper. It's helpful if you can outline those changes and using a different font color or using the highlight so I don't miss it. Save the whole thing and submit it back to me using the same link with the comments intact, with your highlighting or different font color. It's going to look really strange when you're going to want to clean it up. Don't, because if you clean it up and you get rid of the comments and get rid of all the changes, you don't show me the changes you made, I'm going to return it to you and say, please revise this according to how we revise assignments in this class. And I do have a file posted that should help you. Here you can see the student learning outcomes. There are quite a few in the course. I'll let you read those over at your leisure. Go ahead and if you haven't already done so, order the required textbook, which is Classroom Assessment by Macmillan, 2017. Please get the 7th edition, not the 6th or 5th, because we do occasionally work from the 7th edition. You don't need to buy the book. You could rent it. You don't need to buy any supplemental materials, just the textbook. I do know you can get these used, so that might be helpful. And I did provide the link in the syllabus if you want to get it on Amazon. The bookstore also has it. So let's take a look at how your grade will be earned. You can see how it's broken down, the table at the top. Count class participation in the form of learning modules. There'll be 15 learning modules that we'll talk about. Each count for 2 points for a total of 30 points. There'll be an assignment called Analyzing Assessment Data to Guide Instruction. This is worth 20 points. You'll design a quiz. The quiz project is worth 15. You'll design a couple of rubrics, and that's in our performance assessment project. That's worth 15. And you'll do some field work worth 20. That comes to 100 points. And then there's a vocabulary extra credit assignment that you submit at the end of the class if you want to earn an additional 2 points. So it's actually possible to earn 102 what I call course points in this course. You can see the grading scale at the bottom of the screen, so you know what you need to get if you want to earn an A or an A minus or a B, etc. So let's talk about the assignments for a bit. There are 15 learning modules in the course, and each one is worth 2 points. You start on the learning modules. They're due at midnight, so you have to start the next one pretty quickly. Each one takes a while to work through. There are all kinds of things in the learning module. Excuse me. There might be an audio lecture. There usually is. There might be an assignment. There might be a discussion post. There's probably some videos to watch. And so you're going to look through, there's a README file at the top of each learning module that tells you exactly what you need to do. And you need to post all of your work by Tuesday at midnight. So here's an example of a README file from the first week. This is Learning Module 1. You can always tell what the topic is. So this week we're on Introduction to the Course and Assessment, and what the learning objectives are. And you can see the vocabulary here that you're going to need later if you decide to do the vocabulary extra credit project. And so, as I said, these learning module README files just step you through every week what you should do in the module. Sometimes there'll be a discussion, and frequently there will be a discussion post. And discussions are done a little differently in this class. There are actually 3 posts that are required. This is all summarized in a document called How to Post on the course site. So basically what you're going to do is respond to the questions by Sunday night at midnight. By Monday night at midnight, post your reaction to one or more colleagues. This should be a deep and meaningful reaction. I don't require you to post to more than one, but I want it to be deep and meaningful. So I want you to think of this as replacing classroom discussion. And so imagine one of your colleagues just said something and you want to follow up on what they said, but in a way that engages them in conversation. So you might say, I really like how you said this or this. Have you considered? And so that would invite a reply. That's essential for this, what we call reaction post. And then by Tuesday night, by midnight, post a response to anyone who commented on your thread. Those are the close the loop posts. So that doesn't have to be extensive, but it might be something like, thank you for your reply. I hadn't considered that. I like your point of view. Thanks for commenting. So again, there's a response post due by Sunday, a reaction post due by Monday, and close the loop post by Tuesday night. Frequently, I will reply to, or sometimes, not frequently, but sometimes I will reply to your discussion post. That counts as a close the loop as well, that you need to reply to me. Late postings are not accepted. And the reason for this is because it does take the place of classroom discussion. Imagine if you are doing this and the entire class gets up and leaves that class because it's the end of class. And then you come in late, a day or two later, and post. There's nobody reading your post. The class is gone. So you've got to post on time to receive credit. Discussion posts will be graded with a discussion board rubric, and each week I'll email you your module grade. In it will be this rubric completed for your discussion posts, and you can look that over in the syllabus. A second assignment is analyzing assessment data to guide instruction. This focuses on a key skill that all teachers need, which is how do you break down, once you've given an assessment, and understand the data that's coming back in from your students to see what students know, what they understand, what you need to reteach. This parallels some of the skills required by the EdTPA certification test that you'll be doing in student teaching, and more information will be provided on this assignment. It's worth 20% of your grade, and it's due October 27th. There is a quiz project worth 15 points due November 17th, and this is where you're going to develop a quiz, and this quiz must be at second grade level or higher. The reason for this is it's developmentally inappropriate to give quizzes much lower than that. Many students aren't reading, don't understand how to take a quiz. We're going to be going over the specifics of this, but you do have to develop certain types of questions. Run a readability analysis to make sure your quiz isn't at a too high a grading level for reading or too low. Provide an answer key and a rationale. Much more on that later. The performance assessment project is due December 1st. It's worth 15% of your grade. And it does require that you design two rubrics, a teacher rubric and a student-friendly rubric that you could use to grade a student project. More about that later. There is a fieldwork paper consisting of a classroom observation that's worth 20 points and due December 15th. Now, because of COVID, there are two options that you can do. If you are in a school, you're going to observe a classroom for 6 hours and look for instances of where the teacher is using assessment. However, if you're not in a school, can't locate a school because of COVID shutdowns, the state has granted us a COVID exemption that allows you to observe videos online for 6 hours. The rest of the 10 hours is made up by a preparation and submission of your assignment. This assignment may not be turned in late or revised either. This assignment has components that must be filled out in TaskStream and components that must be submitted to Blackboard, and you'll get more information about that later in the course. Finally, there is an extra credit project. This is due December 22nd. And for the extra credit project, basically what you're going to do is you're going to take the vocabulary each week, and there's a template on the course site in the assignments folder, and you're going to define the vocabulary word and use it in an appropriate sentence, and that's worth up to 2 points of extra credit on your overall course grade, so it's quite a lot. And it is due by December 22nd, may not be turned in late. If you look at the end of the syllabus, you'll see the course timetable. You can see here we're in week 1. You can see when the first module is due, September 15th. You can see what the topics that we're studying this week are. This week it's introduction to the course and to assessment. The vocabulary, in addition to being listed in the README file, is also listed here in the course syllabus. And you can see all the assignments for Learning Module 2 are due that date on September 15th. If there's a major assignment, you will also note that the major assignment will be listed in the final column. So for this week, you should make sure you've completed all the activities in the README file from week 1. There is a handy checklist put at the end of the README file, so you can look and see what's due by Tuesday, September 15th, and check them off. That's it. You're ready to take the About the Course quiz now, and if you have any questions, please do feel free to email me at nhaurunner@mercy.edu or through the course message system.